Hello everybody and welcome to News and Views for October the 2nd, 2025. I know it's difficult for all of us to believe that we're already into October with these gorgeous summer weather still clinging to us here, so I suggest we enjoy it while we can. Thanksgiving is fast approaching, and following that it is just a slide right down into Christmas. So reminders for this weekend: there is a fall craft sale for the Margaret Lawrence home. This is happening on Saturday at the Legion. Starting, I believe, at 10 a.m. And a reminder for anyone who was wanting to attend the Pathway to Home Ownership Workshop that has now been postponed to November 22nd. That we do not have a date for the recalculation of that. That is on November the 22nd, still at the Yellowhead Center. So we have 3 items on the show for you today. First of all, you may remember Kira. She was a student here over the summer, did quite a bit of programming for us, and is still doing some programming for us. So she was out at the Indigenous Art Market in Brandon, talking to a lot of the participants about their art, and talking to them about their process, because a lot of them were really talking about reclaiming the traditional arts and crafts that have been lost in some of their families. So really interesting conversations there. There are a few, just to note, that decline to be on camera. So there are a few segments that are audio only. Still definitely worth a listen. We're also, of course, at Indigenous Culture Day here in Neepawa. Now this happened last Friday. This is very deliberately scheduled on a school day because we have hundreds of students from the division come to attend the Indigenous Culture Day in Neepawa, where there are powwow dances, there are talks about the history, and there are all kinds of participatory stations for art and culture activities. So we have a clip of that here, and there's also a full 2-hour program on Indigenous Culture Day elsewhere in our schedule. And then finally, this weekend was also the Tangled Threads Quilt Show. So we got a tour around that from one of the artists. And we also spoke to someone really about sort of historical quilting and what would have been done in the past to create these gorgeous works of art. So if you have anything that's going on that you want us to know about, or anything that you would film that you would like to contribute to the station here, we always love to receive footage from events we can't be at. You can get in touch with us at 204-476-2639 or NACTV at wcgwave.ca. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? So in French, I will say bonjour. Bonjour. In Ojibwe, I could say anin. Anin. In Cree, I could say tanse. Tanse. And in English, what would I say? Hello, or good morning. So I am Robert Loisel. I'm the MLA for St. Boniface, and I'm here on behalf of Wab Canoe, the Premier of Manitoba, and also the Minister responsible for reconciliation. So I used to be a teacher for a long time, and I've got a whole bunch of notes in here I should read out. Who wants to hear my notes? Me! You know what? I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear my notes. So I'm here to thank the elders. I'm here to thank all the First Nations that are participating today, the town of Neepawa. And I'm here to tell you 3 important things. Orange Shirt Day is about recognizing who we are, where we're from, and where we're going. Because we need to look as a province and as a country where we've been. And it wasn't always a good place. A lot of people along the way lost their language. There were residential schools along the way that weren't good. There were children that were lost. There were a lot of survivors that did not have an easy time in those residential schools. So we need to recognize those harms. You know, my first language is French, and I'm a proud Red River Métis. But even here in Manitoba for a long time, French schools weren't allowed. So by looking at who we are, where we're from, and where we're going, that's the path forward.
beadwork help bills with my family and stuff, but I also learn more about my culture too. My mom was in the 60s scoop, so I didn't learn much growing up, but now I'm getting more into it, and it's like medicine. It calms when I make them.
Is there like any like cultural significance to like the beadings, the earrings, and
Some of the designs, yeah, they're let's see, like these colors. They have like the sunset colors, like the four corners, red, black, yellow, and white. I think most of them are gone, but yeah, the four colors. The four directions. Medicine wheel is what it's called.
Doug, nice to meet you. Can you tell me a bit about everything that's here?
Yeah, basically we've got a number of things here. We've got quite a number of wolf willow things. We've got wolf willow necklaces, earrings, and the thing I like about those is the connection to my Métis culture. The Métis use them quite extensively, as did the First Nations as a pre-contact bead, even the settlers. That kind of morphed into making other products like the earrings there, and then also working copper, and now I'm currently making copper bracelets and rings, and that's also morphed into making these wind chimes. So lots of different things. It's I always say it's safer than needlepoint and cheaper than therapy, and that's kind of my story.
Okay, is there like anything here like with deep significance too?
I think the copper has a connection to Indigenous folks, but I think the wolf willow, that's I really like that. Here's a fun one here. This is called uranium glass. So I was able to find these beads on Amazon, but under black light. Can you see that?
Yeah,
they will glow because there's a small amount of uranium in there.
Yeah.
So kind of a neat feature. Plus the sea glass, various things there. So yeah, it's all good projects to keep me out of trouble.
Thanks so much.
Just for ceremony, and they don't go anywhere else. I have some that have my actual like colors that were given to me through ceremony and stuff like that.
What's kind of like the process like of giving the colors through ceremony? Is there like any way?
I can't really say to that. Like an elder does that.
An elder.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. Yeah.
So I did surgery, and like it's like I'm in the healing process.
Can you kind of tell me about your business?
So I'll start off with my name. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and then my one niece started calling me Auntie Lala, so I just went with it. And then during COVID, I just wanted to do something with my time at home, so I started beading and creating things, and then yeah, I've just been doing this for a couple of years, and I really love it. I'm from Quilt First Nation. It's in Ontario, and what else do you want me to say? But I do a lot of everything, like beading. I do mugs. These are aprons. I do make ribbon skirts, but I don't have any here. But yeah, I really enjoy it.
Is there any like further significance for you and like the stuff you make?
I really enjoy the beading. I like to honor the women also, like with the aprons. So I got like the grandma, the cookum, the nopamish, and then the earrings, and then yeah. I like to honor our grandmothers and the women in our lives because we're very important. Yeah.
Okay, my name's Rhea Turner, and I have a small business called Beadwork by Rhea Sky, and I make a bunch of different beaded items, mostly beaded earrings, and yeah, I've been doing that for almost 2 years now.
What's kind of the significance of it for you, like creating beading?
I think, especially starting, it was really important to me to, as a Métis woman, to learn how to bead as kind of like that initial like reconnection to culture. So that's one thing that's been super significant about the process of beading. And it's also just beautiful pieces that I enjoy wearing, giving to other people, seeing people purchase and wear. So that's why it's significant to me.
What's kind of your creative process, like when you like think of designs and that kind of stuff?
I'm someone who I just pick colors and the design kind of comes to me as I'm doing it. I don't really plan too far in advance. I kind of just make as I go whatever I'm feeling, and I don't really make two of the same pieces, so it's a lot of like different things just depending on like how I'm feeling. Yeah.
My name is Sunshine Knot. I'm Sunshine's World of Beads, and I make beaded earrings. And I've been making them since I was about 10 years old. My grandmother taught me, and it's something that I'm very proud of. And I do it for those who weren't allowed to before. So.
Yeah. What's kind of like the significance of the beading you've been making? Is there like a meaning to it for you?
I started beading during COVID, so a really like dark time, and it kind of helped me cope with that. And with my prices, I do try to have something for everyone. So if they're looking for like a more expensive pair or like the cheaper ones, so for something for everyone's budget, because I think that everyone deserves a pair of beaded earrings.
Can you tell me about your business?
Well, it's just it's more of a hobby than it is a business. And,
A hobby.
yeah, like I usually go to college and stuff and dance, but I haven't been dancing in the last 10 years, so I just do this on my free time and stuff like that. And then when if people are interested enough in buying them, I'll sell the earrings to them. Yeah. I also make jewelry out of silverware, like just rings and stuff like that.
Where'd you get like your material to make them? Do you like kind of find them?
Oh, that's a top secret. No,
That's a top secret.
Well, I got a guy I get myself from, and he gets them from wherever. I don't ask where, but we do trades, and he gets me shops, and I get him things he needs. Yeah.
Thank you. That's really cool.
I'd like to introduce you to one of our hand quilters in the Tangled Threads, a founding member, and she's going to tell us a little bit about this very special quilt. Gail.
This is a Dear Jane quilt. It was made by a lady long time ago in the Civil War era, and so you can just imagine what she had to use for tools compared to what we have today, and lighting. But these are very unique blocks. We don't have any of these kind of blocks today. Hardly any of them are a normal block. So I think she was a genius about drafting. And they're really tiny. The blocks are 4.5 inches, and some of them have up to 49 pieces. So I sew them by hand using the English paper piecing method, and then I quilt them by hand. And I even usually when I do a hand quilt, I put the binding on by machine, but this one, everything's done by hand. No machine was ever near it. And I love this quilt, but I would never make another one.
And Gail, how many years did it take for you to complete this?
I bought the book when it first came out, and I probably did a few blocks and thought, oh no, this is going to just be too hard. So I put it away for about 4 years, and then when I got it out again, I kind of worked at it probably about 3 years, working at it pretty well. Every night at home I'd do a block or two, so because it does take a while. But like I said, I'm glad I did it, but probably I don't think my skills are good enough anymore as I get older. I don't think I could do the stitches as small.
And how many blocks are in this quilt?
I think it's 84 on the middle part, but I could be wrong. There's 13 rows, and then the triangles on the edge. So I think I counted them once. I can't see, but
I know it is.
And the borders, I was surprised. Once you started working with the triangles, I guess because there's more bias material, they went together really nicely.
Okay. This is where bias is your friend, and of course all the binding is bias.
Yeah.
So, tremendous work of love. I know some of our other quilters who are no longer members, they're still quilters, but they're not members, have done some very intricate hand work. Many of us, and I know you use a sewing machine.
I can use a sewing machine, mostly for really simple, scrappy things.
Yeah.
Like or a quick baby quilt, things like that.
But I know there was people questioning your sanity as they looked around the show.
Yeah, sometimes I do too, but I find it relaxing to sit and sew.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're sitting watching TV or something, I would probably fall asleep watching TV if I didn't have something in my hands.
You must have good lighting in your room where you watch TV.
I have a really good light that I just turn on over my sewing for sure.
Well, so that no one is to be discouraged, our Tangled Threads Quilt Guild, you can find us on Facebook, and we meet, normally we meet the first Tuesday of the month in the back room of Neepawa Public Library, and you can come out and have a look and see what we're like. Sometimes it's a decent sized group of women, and we're all used to running our own kitchens, so it can get interesting. But we have a little business meeting, and we usually learn a technique and do things like that.
And there's lots and lots of beautiful quilts here today. Like,
And
I had been ill this year, and I hadn't been at meetings, so they're all new to me, the ones I'm seeing here, and they're really nice.
And this quilt has been shown when you were a feature quilter up at the Eleanor Rose Outdoor Quilt Show in Kelwood, which is coming back again next year. It had a 1-year hiatus.
It's a great.
But they're all hanging outside, and it's one fabulous show that Kathy Lewandowski curates. So we look forward to 2026. So watch Facebook. Some of these things show up in the paper or on NECTV. And sorry you aren't seeing this until after the fact. But we're really not too bad to get along with most of the time. We're just human. So thank you, Gail Sawchuk, our eminent hand quilter. There's not many hand quilters around. Thank you. And one of our guild members has had the fortune of seeing the original Dear Jane quilt done during the Civil War in the U.S. So that's the most beautiful one that greeted us today. And here's an assortment of smaller quilts and different colors, different patterns. I recognize some as an exercise we did following the book on cutting and color, because the blocks in front of us are all the same pieces, but it's how you arrange them and how you arrange the colors that creates a multitude of varieties. And it's Melissa Marginet is a Manitoba woman who designed and wrote the book for that quilt. And this is a more traditional log cabin quilt done in fields and furrows. And I think I'm going to avoid giving names on all these because there are so many people have contributed to this. There's one that we would call it fussy cutting. Someone has cut around the design they wanted highlighted in the quilt. And it's called a square in a square. And there's one that's all reds and whites.
You've got your lunch.
And some of these colors may not come out well in this light with the black background. You'll just have to watch for when the next quilt shows on, and there'll be a whole new set of quilts to be shown. And this one at the bottom looks like a 4-patch that has by cutting and rearranging a traditional 4 squares and rearranging them to make something more complicated looking.
I like this one. Oh, yeah.
So much color. And I recognize this is, they called it a chandelier or bead quilt. And that was an exercise the guild did in using up charm squares or 5-inch squares and cutting them a certain way. And there's a doxy quilt.
Gail did finish it. This is not going to be a wow.
Oh, that looks like a sampler quilt where they've done a different block for each square is a different design. Some are repeated, but it's all different. And here's a wacky bird. And I think that was a special challenge that was given where people picked up a magazine that someone else had donated. There was a pile of them. And they chose one thing out of that magazine to inspire them. And I understand these little patterns here were the ones for that design. These, can't think of the name of those. Like a sunburst. Very challenging getting all the points and everything together. And there's another, I think that's another challenge from that. They were inspired by something in the magazine and done a beautiful little wall hanging. And there's a couple of cats. This is a bright corner. Very bright corner. Different techniques. The gorgeous autumn leaves in the corner are made individually and then sewn together to make a gorgeous little table runner. That cut, make, wow studio looks like somebody's for their door on where their sewing room is. And I think that would be maybe called reverse applique, where they put layers of fabric together and cut them apart. And there's a very family one. Someone has designed a crossword. So we've got birdhouses and birds and bees and scenes, more birds. Oh, and this is they call it whack and stack, but it's a lot more precise than whacking and stacking. All those designs came from one print, and it's how you cut it into equilateral triangles and then sew them together to make these hexagons.
Oh yes, there's some there.
And I don't know if it'll pick it up.
I only got some though.
That looks like part of a zebra. That could be a peacock over here. There's monkey faces and something else there. But that was all one print. And it's a very creative piece. We're getting into some workshops here that have been done by the Guild. There's one up there. I cannot remember the name of the book that they got them from. They're self-designed, but the technique is with all those little rectangles to create the scene. And so someone has taken a photograph and reproduced it. And these circular ones are welcome to my street. It was a workshop that was taught. And most of the guild made one. There's one that's quite varied. Here's one that's much more subdued and a night scene. And there's one that's a Halloween, obviously an October one, where the whole neighborhood, welcome to my neighborhood, I believe is the design. And I might be able to pick up the name of the pattern designer if I look over here. Dresden Neighborhood by Kim Lepasik. Dresden Neighborhood. And those houses are all made with in the same style as a Dresden plate. And these ones were a color challenge that was done the past year. And I must read it, the write-up. And I'll just leave the camera on all those colors. 12 color schemes from the color wheel were chosen for this activity. Members chose fabrics for their board to match their pure color pick. They included fabrics with tints, where white was added, and shades where black was added to enhance the pure color. This display shows the result of their creativity. So that was beautifully done with the color wheel. Tremendous amount of work and tremendous amount of creativity.